Hamar is in Wimbledon. Hamar, what do you think?
Well, I think he's left the institution, left the country. So it really doesn't make any difference, his approach of coming across and saying, look, this is me, this is my story, this is what I've had to do. He's left. He's left the institution, he's left the country. The only reason he's doing it is because he has to sell the books to make money. And
technically he doesn't, of course, because the advance would have been immense. I very much doubt, even if it becomes the best-selling book in history, that it will actually move into royalty territory. The advance is already in the bank.
Agreed, but this is not going to stop here, is it? He needs to make an income going forward. He can't just stop here with his.
Well, he's
media,
got many other plates spinning. Let me just back up a bit because I'm a bit confused by your opening. Let's talk about each other. So if you had enormous issues with people in this country and they had been played out in public and continue to be played out in public, even if you moved to Alpha Centauri, never mind Montecito, even if you died, they would still be writing about the other side of the story, still be portraying you according to their agenda, not your recollections, not your reality. You think if you moved house, suddenly you wouldn't care anymore or it wouldn't matter to you?
Well, it's my family at the end of the day as well. So it's a combination of whether his relationship with his
exactly.
family.
So if you'd been appallingly treated in your own mind by your own family and the whole world was watching, you think that by moving house you'd somehow not care anymore?
But then do you think by voicing it in public...
Just tell me first, because we look it through the lens of our own experiences. If you've been appallingly treated by your own family and the whole world was reading their side of the story, you think that if you moved house and left the family business, you wouldn't be upset anymore. That's because that's what you came on and said. I don't know whether you realise that. But
No. I know. I'm not saying that the upsetness is going to.
You wouldn't want your side of the story out there. The whole world is reading. The whole world is reading their side of the story.
But do you think that's going to change his being upset?
Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. He's written how that works. He's explained why it does help.
How does it help?
Well,
taking revenge on his family, or the truth is out there?
Well, obviously,
his truth.
Obviously,
his truth.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like the royal family can put forward their truth.
Well, yes, they can. Prince Charles did a book with Jonathan Dimbleby. Princess Diana did a book with Andrew Morton. They have press offices which are in daily contact with newspapers. Of course, that's the whole point, is that they have full access to the levers of media coverage, and he has chosen to cut out the middleman. I don't know what you're confused about, to be honest.
No, but can I ask, do you think that his book is fully the whole story? It's his opinion and his perspective. And
whose opinion do you expect him? Whose perspective do you expect him to write about?
No, but you're also saying that the whole of the media is also completely one-sided, and you're saying there's got to be a middle ground. I mean, you're saying all of the media is one-sided. It's not all one-sided.
Well, the Guardian is pretty objective on this, but if you wanted to do it in terms of influence and readership, then that's not an opinion, Hamar. That's just counting.
I agree. I'm not saying that the Daily Mail.
We've got a fascinating topic lined up today. We'll be delving into a captivating dialogue that took place on LBC between James O'Brien and a caller. The discussion centres around the much-debated departure of Harry and Meghan from the UK. The perspectives and insights shared promise to ignite thought and stimulate conversation. So, buckle up and get ready for an intriguing journey into this candid exchange. Stay tuned for an intriguing conversation between James O'Brien and a caller. A caller has dialed into our show accusing Harry and Meghan for leaving the UK. The caller, who remains anonymous, has made some rather bold claims. Let's delve into the conversation. The caller starts off with a rather brusque statement. I think he's left the institution, he's left the country. So really it doesn't make any difference anymore. The caller goes on to question Harry's motives, suggesting that the only reason he's sharing his story is to make money from his book. The caller's accusation is clear. His approach of saying, this is me, this is my story, this is what I've had to do. Oh, well, he's gone. The only reason he's doing all of this is because he has to sell the book to make money. The accusation here is that Harry and Meghan have left the UK and the Royal Institution for monetary gain. The caller believes that their departure is a strategic move designed to capitalise on the sale of their story. But the caller doesn't stop there. They continue to press their point, stating, agreed, but it won't stop here, will it? He still needs to make money going forward. He can't just stop with this. He's got many, many plates spinning. This statement suggests that the caller believes Harry and Meghan's departure is just the beginning of a long-term strategic plan to increase their wealth. The caller also makes a point about Harry's family, stating, "Well, it's his family at the end of the day, so it's a combination of that too." This implies that the caller believes family ties should have prevented Harry and Meghan from leaving the UK and the royal institution. Now, these are some hefty accusations. Are they based on truth, or are they simply the caller's personal opinion? Is there a valid point to be made here, or is this simply an attempt to stir up controversy? James O'Brien has a response to these accusations. Let's hear it. James O'Brien responds firmly to the caller's accusations. The conversation takes a turn as O'Brien counters with confidence and certainty. He focuses on the point the caller made about Harry needing to sell his story to make money. O'Brien starts off by saying, technically, he doesn't. He clarifies that the advance for the book would have been quite substantial. Even if it becomes the best-selling book in history, I doubt it will move into royalty territory. The advance, that's already in the bank, he asserts. This statement alone is enough to debunk the caller's assumption about Harry's financial motives. O'Brien then addresses the accusation about Harry leaving the UK. He asks the caller, if you had enormous issues with people in your country, and those issues were played out publicly, do you really think that by just moving away, it wouldn't matter to you anymore? The question hangs in the air, a challenge to the caller's perspective. O'Brien points out that regardless of where Harry goes, the narrative about him will continue, driven by others. He says, even if you moved to Alpha Centauri, never mind to another country, even if you died, they'd still be writing about you from their side of the story. He emphasizes the point, saying, they'd still be pushing their agenda, not your reality, not your recollections. Here, O'Brien highlights the importance of Harry telling his own story, rather than letting it be told by others. The caller tries to argue, saying that it's a family matter. O'Brien responds, exactly. So if you felt you were appallingly treated, in your own mind, by your own family, and the whole world was watching, you think that just leaving the country or the family business would suddenly make the pain go away? O'Brien's counter-arguments leave the caller in a tough spot. He asks, right, so what exactly is your issue with him telling his side of the story? The caller isn't convinced yet. Let's see how this conversation unfolds. The caller and James continue their debate. At this point, the conversation dives deeper into the tangled web of Harry and Meghan's public image and their strained family relationships. It's not just about a book or a departure from tradition. It's about the very human struggle to tell your own story, to assert your own truth against a backdrop of public scrutiny and familial expectations. James, with his characteristic wit, presses the caller further. So, you've agreed that leaving doesn't erase the pain. Let's then explore this. What exactly bothers you about Harry telling his own story? The caller, perhaps taken aback, struggles to articulate a response. Well, it's his family. Shouldn't some things stay private? To this, James retorts, the classic argument of privacy. But remember, we're talking about a man who, from the moment of his birth, has lived under the public eye. His every move scrutinized, every word dissected. Where then does he draw the line between public and private? But it's not just about him, is it? The caller interjects. There are other people involved. His family. Their image is affected too. James counters. Yes, indeed, but isn't it interesting how we're more concerned about the image of the family than the well-being of the individual? Harry's actions, whether we agree with them or not, are a result of his experiences, his reality. And isn't he entitled to express that reality just as his family is entitled to uphold their image? The caller is silent, perhaps pondering James's words. The conversation has moved beyond the realm of simple accusations and defences. It's now about the intricate balance of public image and personal truth, a balance that Harry and Meghan have been trying to navigate since their departure from the royal family. Finally, the caller responds, I see your point, James, but it's still difficult to accept. They were part of an institution, a tradition. It's hard to see them go against it. James, understanding the sentiment, replies, yes, change is often difficult to accept, but let's not forget, traditions are crafted by humans and humans evolve. They grow, they learn, they adapt, and sometimes they choose a different path. Harry and Meghan have chosen their path, and it's up to us to respect their journey, even if we don't fully understand it. In the end, the debate isn't about who's right or wrong. It's about empathy, understanding, and the freedom to tell one's own story. It's about recognizing that beneath the crowns and the titles, Harry and Meghan are human beings, just like the rest of us, trying to carve out their own identity in a world that often seems too eager to define it for them. James O'Brien insists on understanding the caller's issue with Harry telling his side of the story. As our conversation draws to a close, James asks the caller a final question. Are we to overlook the human element in this situation? Are we to disregard the pain and anguish of a man simply because he was born into the public eye? Should we ignore his struggle for the sake of tradition, for the sake of an institution? These words echo in the silence, a challenge to the caller and to all who share their viewpoint. James O'Brien's words serve as a stark reminder of the human cost behind the headlines, the toll taken on individuals who live their lives in the public eye. The conversation that unfolded today between James and the caller wasn't just about Harry and Meghan. It was about compassion, empathy, and understanding. It was about recognizing the human dignity of every individual, regardless of their status or position. It was a reminder that even those who dwell in palaces, those who are born into privilege, are not immune to pain and suffering. They too have stories to tell, stories that deserve to be heard, not silenced. The caller's accusations, while they may reflect the views of some, were met with a firm and reasonable response. James O'Brien reminded us all that every story has two sides, that every individual has the right to express their own reality, to share their own experiences without being judged or dismissed. It's easy to forget that behind the glitz and glamour of royal life, there are real people with real emotions. People who are just as capable of feeling pain, just as deserving of respect and understanding as any of us. As we reflect on this conversation, let's remember to approach such issues with an open mind and a compassionate heart. Let's remember that no one, not even a prince, should be denied the right to share their story, to seek understanding and empathy from others. An intriguing conversation indeed. That's all for today. As we wrap up today's video, we want to extend our deepest gratitude for your time and engagement. Your input and presence are the heart of this channel. We thrive on your curiosity and your thirst for understanding. Together we delve into the world's intriguing narratives, examining them from all angles. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us on this fascinating journey. Remember, every story has multiple sides. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more exciting content.